What if I told you that September could be the most powerful month of the year for your garden? Sounds surprising, right? Most people think gardening is only about spring or summer, but here's the shocking truth. September is actually a secret goldmine for planting. And if you miss it, you're leaving behind dozens of crops that could be thriving right in your backyard. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever wished for fresh vegetables, fragrant herbs, or colorful flowers when everyone else thinks the season is over? Imagine stepping outside in late fall and still harvesting food straight from your garden. Sounds impossible. Stick with me, because you're about to discover 40 crops to grow in September that can turn your garden into a fresh food powerhouse.
But here's the twist.
Beginners often skip September planting altogether, thinking it's too late. That single mistake is the reason so many gardens go empty, just when they could be bursting with life. In this video, I'll reveal not only which vegetables, herbs, and flowers thrive in September, but also the hidden gardening secrets that keep your soil alive and your harvest strong. Ready? Let's dive in. September is not just the end of summer, it's a turning point in the gardening calendar. Why? Because the soil is still warm from the summer sun, but the air is cooler, which creates the perfect balance for seeds to sprout quickly without burning out. Think of it like nature giving you a second spring. Here's something most beginners don't realize. Many crops actually prefer the cooler September climate. Leafy greens, herbs, and even root vegetables grow sweeter and crisper when the nights are cool. This means the flavors from September crops can be richer than what you get in midsummer. But here's the surprising part. While many people pack away their gardening tools in September, experienced gardeners know this is the moment to plant smart. The season is short, but with the right choices, you can enjoy fresh harvests deep into fall, and sometimes even before winter frost hits. So, let's start with vegetables, because who doesn't want a steady supply of fresh food right outside their door? Now here's a question for you. If you could only plant one vegetable in September, what would it be? Most people would guess tomatoes or cucumbers, but the truth is, those are summer crops. In September, it's all about cool weather champions. Spinach is one of the fastest growing crops to grow in September. The cooler air makes the leaves tender and sweet, and you can start harvesting baby leaves in just a few weeks. Lettuce is another superstar. It loves September. In fact, planting it now means you can enjoy fresh salads long after store shelves switch to imported greens. But wait, here's where many people miss out. Root vegetables like radishes and carrots thrive in September soil. Radishes can mature in under a month, giving you quick rewards, while carrots become sweeter as the nights cool down. And here's something fun, beets. They're not only edible for their roots, but also they're greens, which means one planting gives you double the harvest. The best part? These crops don't demand much. With shorter daylight and less heat stress, you'll find yourself watering less and worrying less about pests. September is like nature's reset button, and these vegetables are proof that fresh food doesn't have to end with summer. Here's where things get even more exciting. You already know spinach, lettuce, carrots, and radishes love September, but what if I told you there are vegetables that actually perform better in September than in the peak of summer? Sounds strange, right? But it's true. Take broccoli, for example. Many gardeners struggle with it in hot weather, but when planted in September, it grows tighter heads and develops a sweeter flavor. Cauliflower is another winner. It thrives in the cooler days and gives you that perfect white head before the first frost arrives. What if I told you there's one crop you can plant in September that pays you back not just this fall, but also in the spring? That's garlic. Planting garlic cloves in September allows them to settle in during the fall and then explode with growth once spring arrives. It's like planting now and getting a gift later. Don't forget, Kyle, it laughs at cold weather and actually tastes better after the first light frost. Swiss chard is another colorful option that keeps producing even when many other plants slow down. The mistake stew beginners often make: they stop planting after summer ends. But by adding these crops to grow in September, you extend your harvest season, save money at the store, and enjoy vegetables long after most people have packed up their gardens. Now let's shift from vegetables to herbs, because this is where September gardening really surprises people. Most think herbs belong only in the heat of summer, but here's the secret: some herbs actually prefer the cooler air of early fall. Take cilantro, for example. In summer, it bolts fast, meaning it shoots up and goes bitter. But in September, the cooler days slow it down, giving you lush, flavorful leaves for weeks. Parsley is another powerhouse. Plant it now, and not only will you enjoy it through fall, but with a little protection. Parsley often survives winter and bounces back in spring. Here's a fun twist. Have you ever tried planting dill in September? The crisp air brings out its best flavor, making it perfect for fall soups and pickling projects. And don't overlook chives and thyme. Both are hardy herbs that can handle chilly nights, making them some of the easiest crops to grow in September. The best part about herbs? They don't take up much space. Even if you only have a balcony or patio, you can grow them in small pots. Imagine stepping outside on a cool September evening and snipping fresh herbs straight into your cooking. That's the kind of everyday magic most gardeners miss. So far, we've talked about vegetables and herbs, but here's a question for you. What's the point of a garden if it doesn't make you smile when you look at it? That's where flowers come in. And yes, there are plenty of flowers that love being planted in September. Marigolds are one of the easiest crops to grow in September. They thrive in the cooler weather, and their bright orange and yellow blooms keep your garden cheerful while also protecting vegetables from pests. Pansies are another favorite. They handle chilly nights like a champ and bring a splash of color when most gardens start fading. But here's a little twist. Did you know snapdragons actually bloom better in the cool fall air than in summer?
Planting them in September gives you strong, long-lasting flowers.
And don't overlook chrysanthemums, the classic fall flower. They're practically made for September. With their bold colors, they not only brighten your space, but also signal that your garden isn't done yet. The beauty of planting flowers now is simple. While your vegetables and herbs feed your body, these blooms feed your mood. Imagine walking into your garden in October, surrounded by food and color. That's what makes September gardening so powerful. Now, before you rush out and start planting every seed you can find, let me pause here and ask you something. Do you know the single biggest mistake gardeners make in September? It's not about which crops to grow in September. It's something much simpler, but it can ruin your entire season if you ignore it. Most beginners water their September garden the same way they did in July.
But wait, September is different.
The cooler air means plants don't need as much water, and overwatering can actually rot roots before they get a chance to grow. Another common mistake is planting crops too late. September gives you a window of opportunity, but if you miss it, frost will come before your plants mature. That's why timing is everything. And here's one more mistake, forgetting about the soil. After summer crops, your soil is often tired and low on nutrients. If you don't refresh it with compost or organic matter, even the best crops won't perform well. But the mistake that surprises most people? Not protecting tender crops from early frost. Even a single chilly night can wipe out weeks of hard work. A simple row cover or even an old bed sheet can save your garden. So if you want your September garden to thrive, avoid these mistakes and you'll not only grow food, but also extend your harvest long after everyone else thinks the season is over. All right, now that you know which crops to grow in September, The real question is, how do you plan it all without getting overwhelmed? The good news is it's easier than you think.
Step 1, check your frost dates.
Every region in the USA and Canada has different frost timelines, so knowing yours tells you how much growing time you have left. Step 2, pick your crops wisely. Go for quick growers, like radishes and spinach. Mix in steady crops like carrots and broccoli. And don't forget hardy herbs and flowers to keep things balanced. Step 3, prepare your soil. Add compost or organic matter to refresh it after summer harvests. Healthy soil means stronger plants. Finally, step 4, protect your investment. Keep row covers or simple garden fabric ready for those sudden chilly nights. With these steps, your September garden won't just survive, it will thrive. So now, September isn't the end of gardening. It's actually a hidden opportunity. From spinach and carrots to parsley, dill, and even colorful pansies, there are over 40 amazing crops to grow in September. The soil is ready, the air is cooler, and the season gives you a second chance to enjoy fresh harvests when most people think the season is already over. But let me ask you this. Will you let September slip by, or will you take action and turn your garden into something special? Remember, even a small backyard, balcony, or patio can become a food and flower paradise if you choose the right crops at the right time. You don't need to be an expert. All you need is to start small. Pick just a few vegetables, 1 or 2 herbs, maybe a flower for color, and watch how quickly your space comes alive. And trust me, nothing feels better than walking outside on a cool fall morning and harvesting food you grew yourself. Comment below and tell me which of these September crops you're most excited to try. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button so more gardeners can discover it too. And don't forget to subscribe because I'll be sharing more tips to keep your garden thriving all year long.